Hello and welcome to the Everything is Black and White podcast. Andrew Musgrove here. If you're new to the channel, please remember to hit that subscribe button and those likes as well to help us get the video out to a wider audience. Today's video is all about the man behind me on the green screen, Tino Livramento, the Southampton fullback, who is regarded as one of the best in Europe for his age, just 20 years old. Newcastle United looking to get a deal for him done in the next few weeks. Reports of a £12 million bid plus Ryan Fraser. We don't think that's going to be enough to get this one signed off. Chronicle Live understands, as reported yesterday by a Newcastle United editor, that they are somewhere apart in the valuation. We think around about 10 million or so. So still a little bit of work to do, but what a signing this would be. Now, on terms of the evaluation, there's no wonder Southampton are wanting in the mid 20 millions from him, because his reputation is quite something. Gareth Southgate has already admitted that Livramento is on his radar. Chelsea, when they sold him to Southampton, put in a £25 million buyback clause. This man is touted for big things. And in his debut season, before he was rocked by an ACL injury, he really shone. 28 appearances, and people were already talking about him getting a big move, potentially back to Chelsea, what have you, getting into the England squad. Then unfortunately, bad luck hit him and that injury wiped him out, and it took him 392 days to return to Premier League action. Only last month did he kick a ball in the Premier League. 392 days. I mean, that is horrendous to think about, but he is back. He's got through that injury, playing competitive football again, and Newcastle United, despite the limited game time, have seen enough in the man to pursue this move. Now, as I said, the valuation looks like they're about 10 million or so apart. My opinion of this is that if you have to pay 22, 25 million for Livramento, I still think that represents a very good deal. He's 20 years old. Like I say, his reputation is already sky high. Yes, there will be some concerns over whether he's fully recovered from his injury. I mean, ACL is a difficult one to get through, isn't it? And you're always thinking about that long-term impact. But he's a young lad. He would have had all the top-class physio money can buy. So you'd like to think that any concerns will be gone or will be worked through. And of course, he'll go through his medical and what have you, and Newcastle United will assess it and come to a judgment. But let's say it's all done, all sorted. I think this could really be a fantastic deal. And also, you chuck in Ryan Fraser. I mean, people are saying, well, 12 million plus Ryan Fraser. So what's that about? 17, 18 million in total? Because the question is, how much is a team going to spend on Ryan Fraser, exiled from the Newcastle United first team to the academy, not part of Eddie Howe's plans going forward? No one's going to pay more than 6-7 million if Newcastle United are lucky. So I actually think even if Southampton go, right, we want 20 million plus Ryan Fraser, you go, fair enough, because who's going to pay a lot of money for Ryan Fraser? The answer in reality is absolutely no one. But for Southampton, I actually think Ryan Fraser could be key to them getting promoted. And that's what they've got to think about, I think, when it comes to this deal. Because promotion to the Premier League is worth, depending on reports that you read and the numbers, well over £200 million to any team that goes up. So let's say that they lose 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 million on their initial asking price for Livramento, but they get Ryan Fraser as part of the deal. I think you sit up and go, okay, because if he scores the goal that takes us up to the Premier League, he then suddenly becomes worth maybe 200 million, or at least that goal does. So I think there's room there for Southampton to really consider taking Ryan Fraser as part of a deal, because I think in the Championship, he'll absolutely tear the Championship up. I don't think if Southampton then get promoted, he'll play a part in their top flight campaign. But I do think in the Championship, he would be a very, very good player, supplying the assists and the crosses for whoever they have up front. So if you are watching this from the Southampton boardroom, take Ryan Fraser as part of the deal. You won't regret it, because he will be brilliant in the Championship. And Newcastle United, you look, this guy, Livramento, another Tino in the team, he'll be a very, very good signing. I mean, to make such an impact in just 28 games before that injury, I don't think he's a flash in the pan. Just 20 years old, but he played like a very mature player. Like he had a wise head on him, good going forward, good getting his foot stuck in. Just an all-rounded modern day fullback. And I think you put him aside Kieran Trippier on the training pitch and others, Matt Ritchie, for example, give him experienced heads to learn off. His development's just gonna accelerate. And I don't think he'll come in just to be back up to Kieran Trippier. I think he'll push Kieran Trippier. He really will. And that'll just improve Trippier as well. So it potentially is a very good signing for Newcastle United if they can get this one over the line. Like I say, even if they have to pay 25 million for him, given his age, given his standing in the game, given what the likes of Gareth Southgate and Co have already said about him, given the fact that Chelsea put a buyback clause in, I think it would represent a very good deal, even for £25 million. Of course, Dan Ashworth and Co will try and get the best deal for Newcastle United. But do Southampton need to sell? I mean, I'm not sure of their financial position, but I know they've gone down. We've got parachute payments, and of course, they'd love to keep him because in the Championship, we do very, very well. But does a player want to play in the Premier League? Most certainly. Newcastle United come calling. Is it a big draw? Most certainly. Champions League football, I mean, his head's going to be turned. I think, given the fact Newcastle United are in, from other teams will be alert. Will Chelsea maybe potentially press the clause and go back in from? That remains to be seen. I don't think Newcastle United will be the only ones looking at this kid. The gamble is, like I say, has he recovered fully? That might put their teams off, but everything will be assessed. But yes, potentially a very good deal for Newcastle United. Now, if he arrives, that raises questions about what Newcastle United do in the right back position, because it's already a very oversubscribed position. Currently, Kieran Trippier, Javier Manquillo, Harrison Ashby, and Emil Krafth. So you've got 4 fullbacks, 5 should Livramento arrive. So what happens? Let's say Livramento arrives. He stops. He offers competition to Kieran Trippier. He's in black and white. The sensible option, I think, for many people, the majority verdict for many people will be that Javier Manquillo leaves Newcastle United, and then you send Harrison Ashby out on loan, and you're left with Trippier, Livramento, and Emil Krafth. But I'm not here to be sensible. I'm not here to agree with the majority. I'm going to voice my opinion. And if you're a regular listener of the podcast, you probably already know where this one is going. And if you're a Newcastle United editor, Aaron Stokes, I make no bones about making this point. For me, what I would do this summer if Livramento arrives is, of course, you keep him in the squad at Newcastle United. You say go and test Kieran Trippier. You then send out on loan Emil Krafth and Harrison Ashby, and you keep Manquillo. That would be my approach to this, and I'll tell you for why. So Harrison Ashby suffered that injury which rocked his development in Newcastle United. I think he needs first team football. He's not going to get it at Newcastle United. I think to help his development, he needs to go out on loan and get some minutes under his belt. He's been linked to Leeds United. A few of the Championship sides said to be looking at him. So send him out on loan for the season. Hopefully he gets first team football, and then you assess where he's at in the summer. It's quite interesting. He's only a year older than Livramento, and Newcastle are moving for someone in the same age bracket. I mean, read between the lines there. Obviously, Ashby's still a very talented player, but it's a big season for him. Send him out on loan, get some minutes under the belt. Emil Krafth suffered that injury. He played really well as well. He'd come on, he'd really improved under Eddie Howe. I mean, we talk about the likes of Joe Linton and Almiron. Well, Emil Krafth is another one who has really gone up a level under Eddie Howe. And a lot of people are quite devastated that he got injured, because he was a really good backup to Kieran Trippier and offering competition as well. But, he's only recently just returned to running on the pitches at the training ground. Yes, you can say he's recovered from the injury, but match fitness, can you really build that up training just day in, day out? I don't think you can. And if it was my choice and I was leading this, I would send him out on loan as well. Just till January, and then you reassess. And then you look at it, and then you maybe let Manquillo go in January. So for me, send Ashby out on loan, send Krafth out on loan, help him build back up to where he was at. Whether it's a Championship loan, whether it's somewhere in Scandinavia, somewhere in Holland, perhaps. Again, no guarantees of first team football, but try and send him somewhere where you can get that till January. And then if he's up to speed, you bring him back in January, and then you say to Xavi Manquillo, thank you very much, but now you can leave. Because, I mean, look, he's been very coy about his future. Rumours that he's going to be allowed to go back to Spain. I think he's a great serve, been a great server for Newcastle United. I think he's a very capable fullback. The brief cameos towards the end of last season, I know there weren't many minutes, but I thought he didn't put a foot wrong. I think he's a very good backup to Kieran Trippier. And for me, just so you aid the development of Ashby and you help Krafth get back up to the level of performance where he was before that injury, I think you keep him until January, Manquillo. You allow them to go out on loan. Everyone develops. Everyone's happy. January, then, you let Manquillo go if he wants to go back to Spain, if there's an offer on the table. Of course, that all depends on Livramento coming in. If Livramento doesn't sign, then you're not letting two fullbacks go out on loan, or you let him one out on loan, and that will probably be, I think, Harrison Ashby, because I think his development this season is going to be absolutely key. So if Livramento doesn't arrive, then you let Ashby go out on loan, in my opinion. You keep Krafth, you keep Manquillo, and of course Kieran Trippier, the number one fullback. If Livramento arrives, send Ashby out on loan, send Krafth out on loan until January, keep Manquillo till January, and then reassess those two players come the winter window. But yes, let me know in the comments what you think will happen. I suspect many of you will say, Andrew, you're wrong. Get Manquillo out regardless if Livramento comes in, and then you work with the other fullbacks. But I just worry about Emil Krafth and how sharp he's going to be without first team football. Of course, Newcastle might want to keep a close eye on him. You don't want to maybe chuck him straight into the frying pan, so to speak. But I think send him out on loan to a league over in Holland, perhaps, Sweden, Norway, just to help him build up that fitness would be a really good thing for him. Because a bit like Harrison Ashby, it's all good training day in, day out with these, brilliant players, but nothing beats first team football. And I think you only get so far without first team minutes under your belt. So that would be my plan. I'm sure Dan Ashworth's got his own plan, much more experienced than me. And like I say, you guys in the comments will let me know your thoughts on the future of Emil Krafth, Javier Manquillo, Harrison Ashby, and your thoughts as well on the signing of Tino Livramento. It's like I said, it's potentially going to be a very good deal to get this one over the line. But I don't think it'll be as easy as that. I think they will have a walking other clubs up to the possibility of signing the 20-year-old. But it's one to watch. Head over to chroniclelive.co.uk for all the latest Newcastle United news, including our dedicated Transfer Live blog. We will be keeping you up to date on this story, and of course, the imminent arrival of Sandro Tonali. Exciting signing, that one. What's it going to be? 52, 60 million add-ons. That is going to be a big, big signing. Statement signing. We expect then this week. It'll be all done and dusted. The transfer window doesn't open until the 1st of July in Italy, so that might explain a bit of the delays, but don't think there's any issues with that deal. So just be excited about it. I mean, that is a big, big signing for Newcastle. And good to see them moving early in the window as well. Get this deal sorted. Get these players into the squad before they head over to the United States on the preseason tour. That's going to be crucial as well. But yeah, head over to the website. Join our WhatsApp group as well, where we bring you all the latest breaking news in there. Plenty of people in that group. You should really join. It's worth it. And remember to hit the subscribe button as well on this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Andrew Musgrove. This has been the Everything is Black and White podcast, and we'll see you very soon.